思って、いや例えばね自分だったら恐れ多くて無理だな。
Yeah, I don't remember the very first time I saw him. I remember having to find a way to beat him in Hockenheim in '93. He comes by just before down the last straightaway. But always lots of places very, very fast. Always, and I just assumed it was factory bike that he had the latest, greatest Japanese stuff because it was always faster top speed than almost all the other Hondas too. I always watched him pretty close. It was always good for me to watch Ito-san in Japan. I would go out and ride and be trying really hard and then follow him or watch him, and very smooth, and I think that always helped me find a way to be able to go faster here.
サービスコメントですね。一番最初は87年の暮れにウィロースプリングスに行った時にそこのレコードタイムが要は、ケビンさんのラップタイムがあってでそれがスーパーバイクのタイムだった時に異様なタイムの速さだったんですよね。それを聞いた時それ誰だった初めてそこで意識してそれが当時プライベーターで何戦か多分 GP 出てる頃だったんですけどもそのヘロー鈴木とかなんかそういう鈴木に乗っててで志願者でトップ絡んだりしてるような選手で自分としては一番最初に会ったのが88年の日本グランプリで自分が初めて出た時に一瞬後ろ、3位まで上がった時に一瞬後ろ姿が見えたんですね。でその後に自分からしたらもうスーパースターでしたからその時になんだろうなそこから突然スパートしていなくなってで自分は転んだんですけども、その時のイメージがあってでその後今おっしゃったその93年に関しては当時三強と呼ばれるステューハンレイニー、シュワンツさんでその邪魔をしてたような気がするんですよね。直線だけえらい速くて自分はいつもこうパスしてそれをこうなんていうのかなどっちかというと鈴木の車は少しストレートが走ってなかったりしたんでその大事なポイントで自分が抜いちゃったりしてこう3人で争ってる邪魔をした時が結構あったかなみたいな、ただそのなんていうのかなブレーキングに関してはちょっともう本当に人間技とは思えないような走りだったんでそれはすごいよく覚えてますね。
I don't think I'm faster than anyone. I do. I like the more technical tracks because my bike used to not be one that was fast. It was not one of the fastest anyway. It's one of the things that I really like about Suzuka is from the first turn to the back straightaway. It's all S's, Dunlop curve, Dagner, hairpin, new chicane. But everything is so tied together. There's no straightaways except here and here to have any rest. For the bikes that are faster top speed too.
ドリントもそうですしここもそうですけどラスト3ラップぐらいは異様に速いんですよね。でそこで最後に集中力があるんですけどコースレコードしないようなタイムで 3周でそのトップまで行っちゃって優勝しちゃうとかそういうイメージなんですけど本当に最終ラストラップって異様に速くてなんでそんなことができるのかなといつも思ってましたね。
I always felt like if I was close at the end, I felt like I maybe had a better idea on how to make the bike a little bit better, how to help the bike as the race was coming to an end. When the riders are tired, the tires have no grip. I think my style was a little bit more, I can adapt better to as the bike got worse as we came to the end. And I don't know, maybe I always tried to just save a little bit more for those last few laps, but just like it'll be here. I think every time you get off the bike, you've tried 100%. So I think it was a lot to do with our bike setup too. Maybe it wasn't a very fast setup initially, but it was a very consistent setup from start to finish.
勉強になりました。
Yeah, it was a
左手の怪我の状況もよく分からなかったし、まあそれはよくねまあ、彼の気持ちまではよく分からなかったですけど、自分もねレイニーさんの事故も目の前で見てるし、まあ、いろんなことがあってなんでしょうから、まあね世界チャンピオンを取って、まあ、いろんなことがあって多分常人では分からないことなんでしょうから、まあ、なんていうかな、そういうね引き際ってその人によって違うでしょうから、それはよく分からないですね。ただちょっとまあね残念と思いましたけど。
Yeah, it was probably as much seeing Wayne get hurt as it was me and my wrist. I just was kind of fed up with racing. I was tired of it at the time. I didn't feel like I was focused on racing. I was focused on all the negative aspects of it. The safety, the injuries, and for me, riding wasn't any fun anymore. So that's why I stopped. And I think it's okay for one race. I don't think it's okay for one season, week in, week in, week in. I think I can, and especially at a place like this. There's no big long straights with hard braking. You have to go back a couple gears for the first turn. The hairpin's only from second back to first. Top of the back straightaway is not too bad, and the new chicane is a little bit further down the hill. Track's falling away, so the braking's not as nearly as hard either. So.
チャンスだ。
chance. Oh, he's got the chance now. For years.
It's good that physically and mentally he wants to keep racing. I think so many of us, like I said, when I decided to stop, it was as much mental as it was physical. To be able to continue to stay motivated over such a long time, to me is pretty. It's impressive. It's kind of like Rossi trying to find motivation to still race when he has 9 world championships and he's in his mid-30s. Why doesn't he just I'm done, I've had enough? But to keep being able to push yourself I have lots of respect for that, for sure. It's a weakness that we all have, I think, as racers. We don't ever want to stop, but some of us find reasons to, and some of us find reasons to just keep going.
まあね、自分は好きでやっぱやってきてやめれなくているのはありますけどね。でまあね、幸せなことでMotoGP のテストも去年までさせてもらったり、ドガティの開発もしたり BS のタイヤの開発も自分がやったりして、まあそれがすごい自分のモチベーションでずっとここまで来れて、で気づいたら46歳になっちゃってたんですけど、で自分はずっと乗ってきたんで、ただ今回シュワンさんが引退してから公の場で、アメリカではどうかわかんないですけども、こうやってビッグレースに出てくるっていうのは本当に久々。普通何年も経ってるとこういう感じを維持できないはずなんですよね。でね、全然年はちょっと取ってますけども、あんまり昔と雰囲気変わってないですし、乗ってもやっぱり突然速いし、逆にケニー・ロバーツさんも見ててもそうだけど、なんかこうあの人も突然何乗っても速いじゃないですか。で多分同じような感覚なのかなって、その感覚っていうのはやっぱりちょっとなんていうかな、世界チャンピオンとかになった人じゃないと分かんないのかなって気は、うちらはこう練習してですけど、多分、突然乗っても体に染みついてるのかどうか分かんないですけど。
I think it's because I just continue to ride. I never stopped. When I first retired from racing in '95, I walked away from motorcycles for 3 years. I didn't want to see one, didn't want to ride one, didn't want to know anything about motorcycles. raced some cars, did everything to make my focus go away from motorcycle racing. And after 4 years, I decided that it was probably okay for me to come back and get involved in racing again, because now I wouldn't be tempted to get back on the bike. And then I started school in 2001, and I ride enough. Most of my instructors have been racers, different levels, so I get to ride with them. I think I've always kind of kept that. I ride a street bike, I ride a sport bike on the track at least 5 times a year. Maybe not for a lot, or not going really fast, but I go fast sometimes.
But not any major
But
races.
no big, I did the Bowl Door, 6 years ago?
Yeah, that's right.
That's about it. I think it's just like anything. Once you learn to walk, you don't forget how to walk. Once you learn to ride a motorcycle and decide that that's something that you genuinely love, whether it's street bike or trials bike or motocross bike or Grand Prix bike or
Doesn't make any differences.
bike here at the 8 Hours, they're all the same. And if you still love riding them, when you get on them, you're gonna remember exactly what it took to, maybe you don't have that same. And I think what I'll struggle with here the most is finding that consistency. Maybe I can find a way to do a fast lap, but can I do 25 of them? I think that's where continuing to ride at a high level is probably going to have kept Ito-san in better racing shape than I am going to be. I'm going to have to work really hard at it. It's going to be a little bit physically more demanding for me, but I'm going to try. Nah, I don't think, looking at the time that was fastest here last year, I don't see getting the 2:06 for me. So unless pole position is going to be slower, it's an 8 or a 9 maybe. Just maybe I can find the 8s, but my goal is to find the 10s and be consistent in 10s.
日本で一番大きいレース、その世界的に認められてるし、いろんなスーパーバイクやら、ワールドの選手も来るし、こうやってシュワンツも出るし、うちも JSB の2年ぶりなんですよ、実際。でやっぱり自分もすごい不安だったんですけど、乗り始めたらポッと乗れたのもあるし、ただどうしてもそのプロダクションバイクなんで、勝負はちょっとやってみなきゃ分かんないって感じですけど、でなんか一緒に走れるかもしれないですし、多分ね他のライダーの話聞いてると一緒に走りたいって言うんです。多分ね後ろにこうみんなついて多分走りづらいんじゃないかなと。
So maybe I should start for a few laps anyway. My plan after the race, this year, after the race, is to go to the restaurant at the hotel in the special Honda room and have a glass of wine.
That's so fun together with you.